welcome back to Last Call Fantasy Football. This is our ninth episode of the season so far. We
Something like that.
yeah, we're just running with it. We are coming up on our drafts. August 18th is our draft, and we're excited to keep this train rolling into draft season. This is, as always, Kyle and Justin, Last Call Fantasy Football, and we have a fun episode planned. I believe it's a non-traditional type of fantasy football episode, but we're going bold predictions today. So whatever that looks like for both of us, I'm prepared to be wrong on these. Okay, so how deep did you go with these, Justin? How deep into the bag of hot
Um,
takes or are these
we
things?
haven't discussed our predictions with each other because we want it to be genuine, the reactions. But based off of your reactions, I would say that I didn't go as deep as you did. I feel like mine were a little on the safer side, so I'm a little scared about that.
But that defeats the
Um,
point of bold predictions. Well, so what I was thinking were
I think mine are pretty bold, but I think you might have done stupid predictions, but we'll see.
no. So listen, so this is I didn't want to just like look through players, look through situations, and just see the most hot takey thing I could come up with. I wanted these to be things like I genuinely believe, and I feel like I've been saying consistently since we started this show throughout this year. And things have changed here and there throughout the offseason and the way I look at certain players. So maybe if you go back and look at episode 1 or 2, some things will be different. But for the most part, I think I've been consistent with these, and I genuinely believe them. I just think that some people might see them as impossible or very unlikely, and I'm saying this will happen. Like this is going to happen. Stamp it.
Okay, I did the same.
Okay. Kyle's approval stamped on uh, these bold takes. We
Um,
what?
Here we got the beer of the day, Miller High Life. This is my first time trying this one. Have you tried this, Kyle?
Yeah, it's great.
Really? I don't know. It's the champagne of beers, but I'm a little underwhelmed, I would say.
The champagne of beers, is that what it says on there?
Yeah, it's
Champagne of beer. So it's it's just a
I mean
bolder
it's
Miller. It's like the original
well
Miller,
cuz
no?
it's literally cheaper than the normal Miller.
Like the Miller Lite, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So like
really?
I don't know. I guess this is like Bush Light.
I
Or this is like Bush, I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's been a minute since I had one. Our buddy Gonzo likes them. Remember, he was always the Miller Lite guy in college, and
No, he always brought Bush, I thought.
well, eventually we upgraded to into the Miller and Bud Light, but Bush Light was the OG love. But
Well, it's so cheap, dude. You used to be able to get what, 24 pack for like $14?
yeah, hell, you probably still can.
No, you can't. I checked.
Ah, yeah, of course you
It's
would.
like $20 now.
Uh, Tough times these days, man. You can't even get Bush for $1 a beer.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of news this week, but we did see Brandon Ayuk dap up Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
So my boy's
Um,
staying home, is what you're
so
telling me.
Kyle's hoping that that means he's staying home. It
Yes.
looks like that. I wouldn't see any
I
other
mean,
reason for him to do that, but
playing devil's advocate, he could be, you know, the coach obviously wants him there. The coach could not give a shit about the cap situation. He knows his guys. He knows his guy. Like he wants him to be here. So you know, giving him an enthusiastic dap. You know, hey buddy, how you like? Good to see you, type deal. That's
yeah.
with Shanahan. But John Lynch, on the other hand, he's the one making the. He cares about those decisions. So
I never thought he was going to get traded anyways. I mean, this is the same thing that happened with Debo last year.
I
I think that they're just a little cautious with their deals that they give to their players, so
they got a lot of dudes to pay, including
yeah.
Brock Purdy coming up here soon. Which
I think it's next year.
yeah, but they should do it now. I think personally, they should do it now. Lock him in now.
Yeah.
But my cornerstone piece on my dynasty team is staying home, is what you're telling me. So that's the biggest piece of news. I mean, what is today? Today is, as of recording, is July
August
31st.
30th or July 31st.
Boy, if it's August 30th, we missed
I
something.
wish
We're
it was August 30th because that would mean football is like next week.
I know the first college game, week 0, FSU plays on the August 24th, so we're 24 days away. So it's coming, man. And our draft,
Dude,
we do our main league on NFL fantasy, and it has a draft countdown. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, it's real. Like, it's
dude,
coming.
I mean, like, I'm excited for the FSU and Ireland game, but week 0 is like the dumbest thing that they do.
Oh,
I
well,
don't understand them.
oh, of course. And there's no other than some FCS games, there's no other decent football game on. Like that's it. I don't know. It gives
Like, what's
FSU an
what's
extra
up with
bye
the
week.
week 0?
I don't know. I don't make the rules, man. It's early football. Quit complaining.
I don't know. It's a little weird.
Whatever.
Does it counts for us though, right?
Well, of course it counts. We could just get an extra bye week.
Okay.
Hey, bring my boys a dub.
Does it count
in
as a win?
Dublin.
I don't think it does.
What do you mean, bro? We played. FSU played LSU. Week 0 the first time.
I thought we played North Alabama.
Oh, you're right. No, we played Duquesne. But
Duquesne.
yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Let's get this thing started. So, you want to go one by one? Hot takes?
Yeah, do you want to go first? You want me?
All right, I'll go first. This one I think is my least spicy of the bold predictions, but Carl, stamp. Positive.
Stamp it.
Stamp it.
Bing bong.
Christian Watson will be the undisputed one on the Packers and be a league winner down the stretch.
Dude, that's literally on my list.
Well, for Christian
kidding.
Watson? Oh, okay. I was gonna say you've been wishy-washy back and forth with a couple of the guys, so
No, I like it. I mean, you can go ahead with your reasoning.
When everyone's healthy, he is the guy, and I don't think that that's like too much of a hot take.
No, I think that's
Like that's
factual
understood.
right now.
It's just the fact that when he can be healthy and if he can stay healthy and make it through a season and be a dependable asset for your team. I think I was reading some updates with him. One, I think he's a fantastic player. He's got all the skills, so like exactly who I would want. And he's been spending a ton of money and time with the best doctors in the world, rehabbing his chronic janky hamstring syndrome that he has, because he does. He has a chronic hamstring issue. But in redraft, where you don't have to, where you don't have to put a massive investment into him, he's someone that can sit on your bench where he's going in ADP. He can sit on your bench.
He's going really low right now.
Exactly. And it
Jaden
is.
Reed's going before him, so.
Yeah, and I just think to start the year, he's worth a shot. And I think by year's end, it will be undisputed that he is the Packers' one, and he will be in the 4th round next year. Yeah. He will earn a 3rd or 4th round ADP next year.
I think Jaden Reed and Christian Watson are going to have both good seasons, just because Christian Watson's going to be the one. I agree with you. If he's healthy, he'll be the one. But I think Jordan Love is going to be able to produce for both of them. So I don't think it's a slight at Jaden Reed. I just think that people are sleeping on Christian Watson. So I like the take.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a very similar take as my first bullet point here. Ja'Marr Chase is going to finish as the wide receiver 1 this year.
Woo! I mean,
look, he hasn't done it yet, and he's a player of that caliber.
Yeah.
He's a player that you would expect to finish as running back 1. He's been plagued by Joe Burrow's injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, there's been something with Joe Burrow to where it makes Ja'Marr Chase a little less consistent. And not only that, I just feel like it's the year for him. He hasn't done it yet, and he's going to do it at some point in his career. And Tyler Boyd is now on the Tennessee Titans. I mean, what is it? That's 98 targets that are vacated from that team. 98. Who are they going to go to? I mean, sure, maybe Jermaine Burton gets 65.
He's a sneaky pick for me.
But either way, I mean, you don't even know. Jermaine Burton could get 40. Jermaine Burton could get 10.
Right.
All that means to me is that Jamar Chase is going to be more consistent this year than he has in past years. And that's been his only issue. It's not been the upside games. He's had multiple 30-point games every single year. So,
Yeah. And I agree. Like you said, he is in that tier of wide receivers who could be the wide receiver one.
yeah.
Um, and he hasn't done it, and he has had those consistency issues. And to be the wide receiver one, you're not gonna get there by having a game with 40 yards and then another game with 140 yards. Like you're gonna have to be consistent. Someone who comes to mind is a previous number one is Justin Jefferson. Is someone who what is he average per game his career, like 93 yards a game, the most ever.
I think for a while there he was averaging over 100 yards a game.
Well,
He was
last
like
year.
the only
Last year
player.
he was. But over his
Yeah.
career, he averages like 93 yards a game. So someone like that who doesn't
He had the
disappear.
highest average since Randy Moss. I
Yeah.
remember like his first 3 years was the highest ever.
Ironically, them damn Vikings fans just like getting spoiled with back-to-back
I know.
generational.
Be
Not
a
even
Patriot one day.
yeah, seriously. Like not even those players are not even generational. They're like football legend caliber. Like it's not like, oh, once every 5 years you get one of these. Like no, once every 20 years you
Dude, the
get one of
NFC
these.
North, man. Just legends come from the NFC North. There's so many from the Bears. There's so many from the Lions, surprisingly. The Packers, the Vikings.
We're just
You got
salty Colts and Broncos
Culpepper
fans.
and Jared Allen and Randy Moss.
I know. Whatever. Screw the Vikings on the record for their draft luck. Anyways, no, I like the take. I
I think it's
wouldn't.
also a down year for a lot of the receivers that would you would typically pick for finishing that high.
Yeah,
Like Justin Jefferson is probably not going to have the upside he had last year. Tyreek Hill's only getting older. You know, at some point, Tyreek Hill's not going to be Tyreek Hill. Is it this year? Probably not, but could be.
yeah. No, it's plausible, but I think a majority of people might. They won't be like that's crazy, but they'll be like nah, like it ain't happening, like that sort of deal. So, all right. So number two bold prediction for me, it's I think this one might sound the spiciest off the tongue, like right off the rip, but then when we dissect it, I think it makes a ton of sense. So we will have 5 rookie wide receivers lead their team in total fantasy points this year, with Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, and Lad McConkey. I think I'm predicting my bold prediction. Every single one
Mm.
of those is going to have the most total fantasy points of their team this year.
Uh, that's pretty bold.
I think so, but tell me how. So explain to me the way that it doesn't happen for each of these teams.
So surprisingly, like I've been pretty in on Brian Thomas, but if you look at history so far, if Christian Kirk had been healthy all year last year, he still would have outproduced Calvin Ridley if he was doing what they were doing while they were both on the field at the same time. So I don't think Christian Kirk's going to go away that easily. So I think
Okay,
it
so
I
you
think it's going to be
think
close. I think
okay,
Brian
so
Thomas is going to have a good season and it's going to be close, but I still think Kirk is going to probably outproduce Brian Thomas. He's a pretty solid player, good rapport.
okay, so
But
if
that's the only
one's
one I
gonna
really have
drop,
an issue with.
right? So if one's gonna drop, I agree. Brian Thomas is probably the least like if one is gonna drop below another receiver on their team, it would be him. But the rest of the guys, Keon Coleman, my man, locked and loaded. One, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about his separation issues. He is a freak, and he's
He
just
would
a
be the
big play
second
guy.
one on my list to not make it, but
Um, honestly, the
just
second,
because like he's got some solid pieces too. Like Dalton Kincaid is part of that group. You know what I mean? So
I guess. I
Um,
mean, I did say rookie wide receiver, like to lead
the wide
the wide
receiver room or
receivers.
the team?
No, the wide receivers.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
That
it,
definitely makes it a little easier.
and then Lad McConkey, I think he for me would be the second most likely to drop from that list, just because just if he's not utilized as much, if they do run the ball a ton, and then Josh
Yeah.
Palmer's there, and they
Yeah, I mean,
just
and Quentin Johnson was drafted highly too. Maybe,
right.
maybe he does take the leap. You know what I mean?
And if McConkey just doesn't get the big plays and he doesn't get the touchdowns, like I see that happening. Um, I I don't see it happening. If it is to go wrong, that's how I see it going down. But yeah, I think it's crazy to say like 5 out of the 32 teams will have a rookie lead them and be the player you want from that team in their receiving core. But Marvin Harrison, lock. Malik Neighbors, lock. And in my opinion, Keon Coleman's a lock for being the number one
I
fantasy
think
receiver.
it's crazy, and we didn't see it with the running backs. Like, none of the running backs went where you wanted them to go. But with the wide receivers this year, I feel like they all went exactly where you wanted them to go. Maybe not exactly, but like
Yeah, no one went.
aside from Adonai Mitchell, like everybody went somewhere where they can be the one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and shoot, Adonai Mitchell, he could. I mean,
Well,
I think
typically,
Michael Pittman's a very good receiver, but I don't think he's elite. So I think even Adonai Mitchell could. You never know. He could be the one for that team.
I mean, it just goes to show like you're not gonna a team that has a wide receiver one isn't gonna use their first round pick on a receiver. So like there was how many of these were first rounders? Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Brian
Is
Thomas,
Brian Thomas? Yeah.
and Lad McConkey. Well, and Ricky Pearsall, but
Vlad was round two,
oh, that's right.
right
It was
before
Ricky.
Adonai
It was
Mitchell.
Ricky Pearsall, who was the other uh, receiver. But
You don't think Ricky Pearsall is going to be the top receiver for that team?
that is true. I just said that, but I don't. The 49 they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's gonna work. Who cares, man? Like the only I will say they did flop with the Trey Lance thing. That was disrespectful in every sense of the word. Trading their entire future
That
for
was
Trey
really
Lance.
weird, to be honest. And then they hit on the last pick of the draft.
I screw you 49ers and your draft luck.
For real, dude.
Dunking on the Vikings and the freaking 49ers.
And the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Screw you.
Who else we
Shouldn't
got?
be good for that long.
Steelers? Screw you.
Yeah, they're all right.
No. I'm dunking
I like
on these
their,
teams today.
I like their grit.
Whatever. Get the hell out of here. Steel curtain my ass. All right. You're up.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
My second one is that the Cardinals will have a bounce back and finish as a top 5 offense this year.
Um.
This was one of my more so it's a little bit of a layup, but like top 5 offenses, that's high. You're talking about Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs. Um, where am I blanking right now? Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs.
What? Top offenses?
Yeah,
Well.
for fantasy.
Oh. Well, going forward, the Chiefs, yes, but the Chiefs did not have a top offense last year.
49ers. I'm just saying, like, it's pretty hard to be a top 5 fantasy offense, and I think they will be.
Yeah, last year ESPN says that. Oh, what is this? Oh, it doesn't rank them.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they added Marvin Harrison. Kyler Murray is a year and a half from his injury now. And I actually really like the coach. I think Gannon he's a nut job, I think. He's very quirky, very goofy. Um, I feel like he's almost Shane Steichen's brother.
I mean, they
I
did
like
come from
when they first
the
got
Eagles.
hired, I was like, who is who? Like they're the same person. But I think it's crazy that he was able to win as many games as he did with the Pastronaut.
They won 4 games last year, my guy. They picked
Well,
it
their offense was very successful.
when Kyler Murray came back.
No, with dude, what's his name? The Pastronaut. What?
They were the 19th ranked offense in total offense last year
Dude, that's pretty
and
good.
yards per
Middle of
game.
the pack. You're talking about middle of the pack. James Conner was hurt a lot of the season.
Slightly below. They were bottom
Michael
half.
Wilson was their top receiver. Hollywood Brown was injured most of the season. Kyler Murray was injured most of the season.
Yeah.
Trey McBride didn't come on until late when Kyler Murray was back. And they were still able to succeed at least on offense. I think the reason why they only won 4 games, their defense was atrocious, which it probably will be again, which will
Yeah.
help my point because bad defenses leads to coming from behind, which leads to fantasy points.
Yeah. And just for reference, how much of a step that would be and how bad their quarterback play was is they had the 7th fewest passing yards in the NFL last year. 7th fewest, but they were the 19th most total offensive yards. So they had a great run game. James Conner was carrying that team offense wise. And if you can bolster up that run game, adding Trey Benson with James Conner, and you get Kyler Murray back with Marvin Harrison, I think you're right, as I think the Cardinals are going to shock a lot of people.
I do too. I think they're going to be very similar to the Houston Texans of last year.
That would be pretty sweet. That would be quite the jump. Well, I mean, they did the exact same thing, no? They won 4 games or 3 games, the Texans did?
2.
2? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I know.
But still, they're going to go from – they're going to be pretty similar, I believe. I don't think they're going to win a ton of games because, again, I think their defense still kind of sucks. But as far as just, like, having an exciting offense, being an exciting team to watch and good for fantasy, I think they're going to completely turn the season around.
Yeah.
Because Michael Wilson is also still a good receiver. And he's still on the team. And now you have Marv on top of that, so.
Greg Dortch.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I am excited about the Cardinals, though. And Kyler Murray is my dark horse. I was trying to think of a prediction with Kyler Murray in this because I'm super in on Kyler Murray this year. I couldn't think. I think everyone should think the same, so I didn't think they were all that bold. You know.
What sucks is I think people are starting to think the same because he has risen in ADP a lot since we've started drafting. He was down there with Justin Herbert. Now he's up. He's right there behind Anthony Richardson right now.
Yeah, I think last I grabbed him was like the 5th or 6th round in a sleeper draft.
That's not even like a sneaky pick. That's a high pick for the quarterback still.
I was getting him in the 7th, and I was loving it. So we'll see. But
I think he'll be even higher. I think there's a possibility he even passes Anthony Richardson by draft time.
Oh boy, I was just smirking. I just caught a glance of what my next hot take is, and this one's gonna be the spiciest. I think the spiciest of the 4 I have. All right, you ready?
I'm ready to disagree with you. I wanna hear one that I'm like, nah, there's no way.
I know. I thought honestly we would get there more because you do be having some dumbass takes off the air, and I was hoping just to dunk on yours. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about this. Caleb Williams will be a better fantasy player to have than CJ Stroud this year.
That's blasphemy, dude. That's blasphemy. No.
Caleb Williams will be a better fantasy player to have than CJ Stroud this year.
I think no.
And a lot of that is baked into there's a 6th round difference right now in ADP. So
okay, are you saying he finishes higher than CJ Stroud, or he's a better
I said
player
what
for
I
fantasy?
said. He will be the better player to have than CJ Stroud. I think that they will finish very closely in points per game.
Okay.
And I think that CJ Stroud is being way overblown, and that you're going to get the exact performance, if not better, from CJ Stroud last year than you.
I agree with the CJ Stroud thing. I didn't put it on here, but I was going to put on my hot take list that the Texans were going to just suck this year because it happens a lot when you get these
Mm-hmm.
teams that are super teams. They just don't mesh. And you got Stefan Diggs coming in. The definition of does not mesh with
Mm-hmm.
teams. We'll see. It seems like he meshes for a couple years where he goes, so maybe they'll be good for a couple years. But it happens all the time. When you had Andre Johnson and Ocho Cinco together, didn't work out. It doesn't always work out. So I think this season, the Texans, I don't think they're going to work out as well as everybody thinks they are with Mixon and Diggs and
I
the
just was
Alabama
looking
DN.
at the makeup of these two teams, and I think, well, one, I think Caleb Williams is legit. Like, I think he is going to be a generational QB for the Bears. I think that these two teams are set up very, very similarly. They
Yeah, I
are going
just
to produce the same level of offense. I think I'm in on the Bears, even though they have a great defense, and that's typically not great for fantasy production. But Caleb Williams, I think that they're just fully going to give him the keys and just say, go do the damn thing. And he's going to use all of his weapons just the same as CJ Stroud is going to do. So I think that they are going to finish extremely close to each other. And CJ Stroud is a fourth round pick right now. So.
I think that's stupid. My my Here's what I think about him. I think he's going to have a very Peyton Manning, Jameis Winston season his rookie year where he's going to produce a lot of fantasy points. So like his receivers are going to do well, the running back's going to do well. Everybody but him, I believe, on the team is going to do well because I think he's going to pass for a ton of yards, not a ton of touchdowns, and he's going to throw an insane amount of interceptions. Is what I believe.
Okay.
So as far as him as a fantasy player, I'm out. But as far as him producing for Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Roma Doomsday, I'm in.
Yeah. But see, I think it's just going to, those guys are just going to elevate him as well. Like the way that people are saying CJ Stroud is like, and how we talk about the Texans trio, it's like we can't figure out which one it's going to be, so it's just going to be them all. And CJ
Yeah.
Stroud's going to be the only one to benefit from that. I think it's going
I
to be
think
very
he's
similar.
got I think he has Patrick Mahomes level of talent.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to his mental, he is he needs to grow up a lot to be Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes was very mature when he came into the league and he got to sit behind one of the better quarterbacks of our generation for a season. And I think that helped him a lot as well. And I just think Caleb Williams is already a little cocky and overconfident, and he's going to get into these games, and it's going to go a lot faster than he thinks it's going to. Those windows to get that ball in there, it's going to close a lot quicker than it did in college,
But if
and
anyone's
it's
going to
going to
get
be
it
picked
there,
off.
it's going to be him. I'm telling you. I'm just saying this is also like it's a two-part dunk. It's a dunk on CJ Stroud and it's a dunk on Caleb Williams like rookie potential. I mean you can switch this in if it makes sense, if it's applicable. Caleb Williams will have the best rookie quarterback season of all time. That's essentially what I'm saying because
Oh, well,
I'm saying he's going to
uh,
surpass what CJ Stroud did
did
last year.
CJ Stroud have the best rookie season of all time last year,
Yards
or
wise,
was it Justin Herbert?
it was Baker. It was either Baker Mayfield or Justin Herbert. I can't remember.
Justin Herbert had an insane season. At
Yeah,
least I think for fantasy, Justin Herbert.
true. But just for the league, I think Stroud threw for over 4,000 yards. Like he was insane. But I'm just saying, C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams, interchange their names. You're gonna get the same production this year. So
All right, we're definitely gonna agree to disagree on that one.
that's
But
fine. I told you that one would be my spiciest one. So go
yeah, it's
ahead.
stupid. Um, my third one, I think this might be one of the spicier ones for sure. I think that the Young Bucks take over at wide receiver.
Okay.
So basically,
Wait, that
okay,
was
I remember
it?
this. No. So this is really spicy. I think Waddle will take over Hill.
Crazy.
Collins and Dell will take over Diggs.
less
DJ
guys.
Moore will take over Keenan Allen. Ridley will take over Hopkins, and JSN will take over Lockett.
I mean, I think all of those are realistic except for Waddle and Tyreek. I don't think there's a
I think he
freaking.
will.
I don't think that there is a shot in hell that, unless injury, Tyreek Hill is a less valuable fantasy
I think
player
it's
than Jalen
time.
Waddle.
It's this is the trajectory of their careers right now. Waddle is just rising.
Correct.
Hill Hill
He's
went like this,
plateaued.
and now he's like this.
Yes, but up here
I
is
would.
in the freaking
He's not.
stratosphere.
This is not happening anymore.
That's fine. He don't need to.
This this is all that will ever happen.
That's fine.
Waddle is going like this still.
and sometimes and sometimes this player doesn't ever get here. He goes and
No. But he's gonna waddle his way up here.
he's not. Okay. So there's no shot that this season, minus injury, Jalen Waddle outscores Tyreek Hill. I can if you believe that Tyreek Hill is just like toast, that last year was the
I
best
don't
you
think
could
he's
ever do.
toast. I think, for me, I think Waddle hasn't been as good as he can be. He's been
Which is true.
injured every season. He's never really played healthy. He's always had something lingering.
That's true.
He's been in and out of every game, in and out, in and out. If he can be healthy, I think at this point in both their careers, it's very likely that he takes over Hill this year. Because it comes down to health for him too.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, he finishes the RB7, I think, his rookie year.
I think when they're both on the field, and I would need to look deeper into this, I want to say that Waddle is probably more targeted when they're both healthy and on the field than Hill is. Hill just has the more electric plays that turns into more fantasy points. But Waddle is getting the 10 targets a game. Hill's getting, I would say, a little less and doing more with them.
I don't know. Unless you just think that
You disagree with all the other ones though?
no, JSN to overtake Lockett. Personally, I don't think that happens this year. I give it one more year. Give it one more year for Lockett. And then
Okay.
who are the other ones you said?
DJ Moore over Keenan Allen and Ridley
Yeah, I don't think
over
that
Hopkins.
happens either. It depends. In what way? Like Keenan Allen and DJ Moore are going to play two entirely different roles for this team. So like, are we talking total fantasy points, touchdowns,
They're
yards?
not that different of players though, honestly. I feel like they actually play pretty similarly.
DJ Moore is a field stretcher. He's gonna take you deep, and he's the quicker, smaller, stockier receiver. Keenan Allen
He's a weird
is an elite.
DJ Moore's a
lanky
weird
slot.
receiver because DJ Moore size wise is Keenan Allen, but he's just thick. He's thick Keenan Allen. And I agree, he doesn't have the route running tree that Keenan Allen has. I don't think anybody does. Maybe Justin Jefferson. But I don't know, man. I think DJ Moore is definitely the more explosive. And I think Caleb Williams, like to your point, I think he's gonna just want to fucking let it hang. And he's gonna try and stretch the field as much as he can. And Keenan Allen is in his Larry Fitzgerald years where he's not really gonna do that. And he doesn't need to. They're not gonna scheme Keenan Allen to go deep at this point.
No, he'll catch some 15-yard curls, you know.
He'll have 15 targets a game.
And that's what
And
I'm
it'll
saying.
be shallow yards, and he'll barely get to 100 yards a game.
So it just depends. I think it very well could happen. I think DJ Moore at this point is probably a better wide receiver than Keenan Allen, but I think Keenan Allen will be Caleb Williams' best friend. So that's just my opinion. I think that he is going to be his best friend. He's going to get the majority of the targets. He's going to be the red zone guy, even though typically he hasn't been a touchdown monster in his career. He's just been a, yards and a target hog. But I think Keenan Allen is going to be his best friend. So that's just my opinion. I think that he is going to be his best friend. He's going to get the majority of the targets. He's going to be the red zone guy, even though typically he hasn't been a touchdown monster in his career. He's just been a yards and a target hog. with the rookie, he's going to look for that guy in the end zone, and it's going to work out. But anyways, so I think it is spicy. I think there's some of those guys. I give one more year to just about every single one of those guys. Give one more year to Lockett, one more year to Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Who there was one more.
Waddle.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I think it's spicy. There's a path, but it's bold. So, all right. Wrapping it up with my final spiciness. And I mentioned this before on the podcast, just in a different way. Brock Bowers will be a top 5 tight end in points per game this year. So,
that's the dumbest take you've had yet.
What do you mean? Listen,
I don't understand your infatuation with Bowers.
Because
dude.
he is
Who's
the greatest.
throwing the ball?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
If it was just Bowers on the team and he didn't have Devontae Adams on the team as well, I would be with you, man. Because who else are they going to throw the ball to? And he's great.
I said he's going to be top 5 in points per game. So he might not be super involved in the first, 4 or 5 weeks because he is a rookie and he's a tight end. You got Michael Mayer still there. Like there's some installment for him to come. But once he is integrated, and it won't take long, he is a yards after catch monster. He's impossible to tackle. He's insanely fast. He was the best player by far of the juggernaut Georgia team, and he's just being yeah.
Are you taking him over Kelsey?
No.
Are you taking him over Kittle?
Yes.
That's fucking scary. Are you taking him over Mark Andrews?
No.
Dalton Kincaid?
No, because I think Dalton Kincaid is guaranteed volume from the jump. From the
Sam Laporta?
No.
Trey McBride?
No.
Well, that's 5 right there.
Listen,
you said no to 1.
Where's
he fit in the top 5?
There's a difference between top 5 QBs or tight ends to draft and who I want on my team versus who will end up top 5 in points per game. I'm saying that Brock Bowers, once he's installed, will be a top 5, but it could take a while for him to get installed into the team.
I do see what you're saying.
So when I'm drafting, I don't want to take Brock Bowers.
You're saying obviously you're saying like, yeah, he's probably going to finish tight end 10.
Right.
Because it might take 6 to 8 games or whatever.
Right.
You're saying once he does, he's going to break out and have 15 points a game.
He's going to be an elite receiver option. So next year, he will be in that top 3. It very well may be if Kelsey retires or whatever. It could be Laporta, Mark Andrews, Brock Bowers. Like, I could see that.
I just think it's hard for this to be possible just because of the recent resurgence of the tight ends in the NFL. There's so many good tight ends right now.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram is having a bounce back in Jacksonville. Njoku, if Deshaun Watson gets his shit together, Njoku's going to be a top 5 tight end probably.
But none of them were the 2-time Mackey Award winner. Best tight end prospect. I don't give a damn about no Kyle
Evan
Pitts.
Ingram had the best tight end rookie seasons ever.
Yeah, and it sucked.
Ever.
And it sucked.
You're talking about Jeremy. No, it did not. His rookie season?
Yeah, he had like 700
yards. He was
yards.
better than Jeremy Shockey. He was better than Travis Kelce. We just went over Travis Kelce that year I traded him to you.
I know.
That season was insane. Evan Ingram had a better season than that.
I'm just saying. Brock Bowers is that dude. And when it does come, it's going to come right in your mouth.
The issue for me is that if you look at tight ends that are successful, they are usually hands down the first or second target of the team.
I think he's the second target of the team.
And I think Jacoby Myers.
Don't give me no
much. I think he's much better than you're giving him credit.
He very well
think
might
Jacoby
be.
Myers. I think if Jacoby Myers went to the right team, he could be a 1 for the team.
Oh hell no!
I'll take Jacoby Myers over Curtis Samuel.
He was the 1 for a team. It was the New England Patriots, and he was garbage.
He had Mac Jones
That's
throwing the ball.
okay. So
Mac Jones looks in the mirror and is more upset than I am.
whatever, man. I'm
He looks
just
like he
telling
ate
you.
3 birthday cakes before every game.
And he probably did, man. Like, let him live his
He
Alex
looks like he
Moran
wears a
lifestyle.
Burger King crown on the airplane.
Oh my god. He he let him be the backup glory and enjoy his fat boy cake in Jacksonville. Like,
I forgot he's there, actually. That's
yeah,
funny.
he's the backup in Jacksonville, but whatever, man. I'm just telling you that Brock
That's my next
Bowers
bold take.
is
Mac Jones will overtake Trevor Lawrence
oh,
this
how
year.
much I would love for that to happen. I would love for that to happen. And after they just
Me
paid
too.
him the $250 million to be their quarterback of the future, I swear he could throw 7 picks in one game and they still wouldn't bench him. Not
You know,
anymore.
at first, I thought Jacksonville was really stupid. Honestly, Jacksonville, Miami, Green Bay, even. I mean, at least Jordan Love and Tua have actually done something.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones, I thought this was all stupid, but somebody said something, I think it was on the Pat McAfee show, and they're like, it's actually really smart because quarterbacks are really hard to come by, even decent ones.
Yeah.
Anybody even semi decent is hard to come by. And if
Mm-hmm.
their team is not even uh, ready to win a championship, what does it matter? You
Yeah.
can pay them, and then by the time the plan is you pay them, and then by the time their contract's about to be up, you have a team ready to win.
Yeah.
So I honestly I've kind of come around on the concept of like paying crappy quarterbacks, not crappy quarterbacks, but like just not the elite quarterback, um, and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Because you need a competent quarterback to do anything, and they don't
Right.
just grow on trees. And
Well, because all I think I don't know about Daniel Jones. I think I think Jordan Love, Tua, and we'll throw Dak in there. Trevor Lawrence, they're all better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
yeah,
I'd say that hands down. I honestly, I still Daniel Jones.
well, yes, Daniel Jones is a starter in this league. He's just a bad one, if that makes sense. Like, there's 32
Yeah,
starting quarterbacks. Someone has to start at quarterback. He's just at the bottom of the list. Like, he's in the bottom five
I will
that
say I don't
belongs to
think he's
start.
the best quarterback on the team.
Uh, who's their backup? I don't even know anymore.
Drew Lock.
Ah, yes. Okay, I forgot about him. Yeah, see, interchange them. Whatever. Like, they're fine. So,
I still think if Drew Lock gets a real shot, I don't know. There's something about him. I like his moxie.
oh, he got a true shot. He
I
got.
think Drew Lock could very easily be Gardner Minshew if he gets the opportunity.
Oh, that's shooting for the stars, man. That's some real high hopes there.
Dude, Gardner Minshew is hands down twice as good as Daniel Jones as that quarterback.
I see them about the same.
If Gardner Minshew was on the Giants this year, I would be all in on Neighbors. I'll just say that.
Uh,
You can't tell me you wouldn't be more in on Neighbors right now if Gardner Minshew was there.
I mean, I'm in on Devonte Adams with Minshew and Aiden O'Connell in Las Vegas. So I guess by proxy
Exactly.
that means I would have to be in a Neighbors if I believe in Neighbors, which I do. So it's just the Giants. The Giants just stink. You know what, Giants? You
No,
suck.
I just kind of like them, but back in the Eli Manning Odell days, man,
I know they were fun to watch.
they're such a cool team.
They were always on Sunday Night Football. They were always had primetime games. Now I just see the Giants, and it's like it's how I used to view the Browns. I know. Yeah, they're actually they're how I used to view the Bills before Josh Allen and before that. Like they were just like, yeah, it's an NFL
Yeah.
team, but I don't really want to watch it. You know, is anything
Even
interesting
when the
going to
Bills
happen
were
there?
like, remember when Tyrod Taylor Wait, was it Tyrod Taylor?
On the Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but didn't they have another quarterback before him that was like led them to the playoffs?
Is it EJ Manuel?
I mean, he was there.
Yeah, he
Either
was.
way, I think it was with Tyrod Taylor. I remember they were actually a pretty good team, but I still viewed him as like just garbage.
I know. I'm telling you,
Just straight. They were like
some
9-8, and I was like, that team sucks, bro.
there's certain teams they just get a stink that it takes years of success to get rid of,
Yeah.
and I think the Giants are
The Browns still
in.
haven't got over it. They still stink.
No, but like they're at least like they have something, some redeemable quality when you watch them.
I have honestly, I think they really should have stuck with Baker Mayfield first of all, but
Here we go.
I have never been excited to see a Browns game. I've never seen Browns versus whoever and been like, oh, I gotta watch that.
The Browns
Even the
Steelers
playoff
games.
game against the Chiefs, which was a pretty good game, when Chad Henne had that first down and reached out.
That was against
You
the
remember what I'm
Browns.
talking about?
Yes, I do remember
Yeah.
that. That was insane.
It was a good game, but still, I was like, I barely even watched that game. The only reason I watched it because it was close, and I was like, oh, I gotta pull this up on Stream East real quick.
Extremist.
And that was a playoff game.
I know. Look at us. We're just ranting at this point, dunking on every NFL franchise. First, we
While
just
our franchises have sucked for the last 10 years.
yeah, but we're gonna skip over that because this is our show. We can do what we want. The Patriots can suck it. Who else was it? The Vikings suck it. The
You said
Niners
Steelers.
suck it. The Steelers suck it, and Giants and Bills can both suck it. But we digress. We had our bold predictions. We're gonna wrap this up. Any lasting thoughts before we?
I didn't do my last bold prediction.
Oh. Well, you were just
Did you do
spewing bold
yours?
predictions this whole time. You said Drew Lock was better than Daniel Jones. You said that.
Wait, hold on. Okay, let me go.
All right.
My last bold prediction is that the Colts will finish as a top 5 offense for fantasy football.
Okay. So, wait, did you say the Cardinals top 10?
5.
Okay. Now let's play a game.
I will say
So
So,
that
let
gives
me
you
go
3
through.
teams. Tell me those 3
They
teams.
sneakily have. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So tell me those 3 teams.
Okay. Well, no, you have to tell me the team. That's how I did it.
Oh, okay.
And I'd say yes or no.
San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will be in the top 5.
The Detroit Lions.
No.
The Miami Dolphins.
No.
So both the Lions and the Dolphins will not be top 5 offenses.
No, I think that the ground and pound offense for the Lions, I don't think it's going to work as well this year as it did last year. And then they
But
didn't
they were
really add
number
anybody at wide
2
receiver.
in the league in passing yards. 4,400 passing yards.
Yeah, but they still didn't really add anybody to that room. It's just still Laporta and Amon-Ra. So I don't.
But the total yards.
I'm not saying
by
they're going to
team-
do bad. I just think that they're going to get past. I think last year there was a lull in offensive production
Yeah.
across the league, and I think that the Cardinals and the Colts are 2 teams that are going to leap them. I don't think they're going to play bad. I think they're going to play pretty similar to last year. I just think that they weren't as good as. I don't think they're going to keep up this year.
All right. And what about the Cowboys?
No, because they're a team that I don't think they're going to do it all season.
All right. The Bills.
No, they lost all of their weapons aside from Kincaid. I mean, I think they're going to be good towards the end of the season, but I think it's going to take a while for Keon and everybody to get used to the team, and I think they're going to have some struggles early.
All right. Well, so if you could, who do you think has a chance to join the Cardinals and the Colts in the top 5 then? You said
Probably
the
the Chiefs.
49ers. The Chiefs can join back. The Rams, the Eagles, the Ravens.
I could see Eagles or Rams as well making it back, but I think they're in the same category as the Colts and the Cardinals going into the season. I think they're kind of interchangeable. I think they're teams that are on the cusp of being a top offense, and they just need a couple pieces. Which the Colts not only added to their O line this season that was already good, they added an insane amount of depth. They also added Adonai Mitchell to a room where, I mean, sure, it's not a room filled with insane names, but Alec Pierce is a solid receiver. Josh Downs had a really good rookie season, and Michael Pittman had the best season of his career. And then you got Anthony Richardson coming back. So
Yeah, like I said, I can see how it's just tough. I mean, very similar to me, like how I said with the tight ends. Brock Bowers is going to be top 5 in points per game. Who else could be there? They all can't fit. And I'm just looking at a lot of good offensive teams that would need to take a step back.
yeah, well, that's part of it too. Is like I'm not saying that the Colts this upcoming year are better than what the Lions did last year or the Cowboys did last year. I think the part of my prediction is the fact that I think that the teams that were good last year are going to regress this year.
Yeah, all right. I mean, fair enough. I think that's for sure spicy. I mean, because the Cardinals would have to go from bottom half to top 5 in 1 year, which
Yeah.
it happens. I mean, Houston, Houston in yards per game was what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12. They were 12th last year, um, in total yards per game, and then the year prior when they were the 2-win team, they were second to last. They were 31st. So they went from
Well,
31st to 31, or from 31
here's
to
a
12.
here's a correlation as well though is that you and me talked and there's not a lot of because I'm talking about fantasy. I'm not talking about top 5 offense
Well,
for football.
Well, that relates the yards per game. The yards
Well, no, I
go
know.
to those
But I'm
players.
just saying you got Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
You got Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
You got Michael Pittman. That having 3 elite players on any team is going to make them elite for fantasy football. That's the same uh, thing you had with San Francisco last year. You had Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle. McCaffrey. Well, they have 4. But
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
I just
Like
think it's a recipe for success.
it's a top 5 offense to target.
Right.
All right.
I
Fair.
think having the AR Pittman stack is going to be insane this year.
You know how I feel about Pittman, but he is a good player. I just think he's vanilla ice cream.
I
I think
think
that's exactly what
he's
I
just
said.
not ever had a good receiver, and I think, or a quarterback. And I think if Anthony Richardson is who we think he is, I think he's going to have an Amon Ra type season this year.
Ooh, spicy.
I think they're very similar players as far as their play type.
Yeah.
Possession receivers, they catch everything, they can moss people. Not incredible route runners, but they get the job done. They're open, dependable, gritty.
All right. I like it. I like it. Well, I now that I let you get your fourth and final one in, any final comments before we get out of here? We're doing great on time, 54 minutes, and this is
Nice.
exactly what we've been hoping for as we continue to learn.
Did you have any honorable mentions or anything like that?
Um, no,
I have two.
honestly.
I have 2 honorable mentions.
All right, rapid fire.
And these, okay, so I have Cooper Cup will be the wide receiver 1 for the Rams.
I thought about that, but my rankings tell me otherwise, so I couldn't do it.
Okay. And then I have Austin Eckler will be a top 15 running back this season.
I just,
I think I looked at his stats to begin the season last year before the injury.
oh, he's great.
he was on pace to be the Austin Eckler he's been his entire career. There was no signs of him slowing down. He has injury. He sucks it up the rest of the season.
Yeah.
If he comes back healthy, I don't see any reason why he's not Austin Eckler that he's always been.
Brian
Brian Thomas.
Thomas. I think
I
Brian
think he's
Thomas
mid.
is starting back, which
I
he
think
very
he.
well may be mid, but I just I can see Austin Eckler moving into like a Naheem Hines role.
You know what I think happens is I think that he gets put back in the role that started everything
Yeah, exactly.
with Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, like the
I
Naheem
think he's
Hines
going to
role.
be the second running back on the team on the depth chart, but he's going to produce the most in fantasy for that team.
Mm,
He's only going to have 15 carries a game, but he's going to be very explosive with them. He's going to have
I
six
give him
catches a game.
10 carries a game, maybe 4 receptions a game. So we'll see.
See?
I don't know, but no, I that's why these are bold. We don't know one way or another. We just have a gut feeling, and when we're stamping it, we're stamping it. So, just a quick recap of mine. We should post these as like a slide on Instagram and just see what like the text on
Okay,
each
yeah.
slide and just see which one you agree with. But yeah, Christian Watson, undisputed one of the Packers and league winner down the stretch. We'll have 5 rookies lead their team in total fantasy points this year with Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey. My spiciest one, Caleb Williams would be a better fantasy player to have than CJ Stroud this year. And Brock Bowers, top 5 tight end in points per game.
Yeah. And I had Jamar Chase going to finish as the wide receiver 1 this year. I had Cardinals will be a top 5 offense for fantasy this year. I had the Young Bucks will take over at wide receiver, so that means Waddle over Hill, Collins and Dell over Diggs, DJ Moore over Allen, Ridley over Hopkins, JSN over Lockett. And then to finish it all off, I had the Colts will finish as a top 5 offense for fantasy as well.
Well, there you have it. Our bold takes for the 2024 NFL season. Again, draft season is right around the corner. We're excited to get this league officially going. So, what is that? We have 2.5 weeks to go before our draft. So, we'll have a couple more shows before our league draft to start off the year. But in any case, we'll wrap it up. This is the last call for fantasy football, and we'll catch you next time.